Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We are here around the campfire for the long-awaited, what are we calling this? Q&A. Campfire Q&A.
Part 2.
Fireside.
Fireside Q&A.
Fireside chat.
Fireside chat. We're doing some fireside chat. Alright guys, we'll see if we can get through some comments here and get some more information out there. Some more questions answered. We're here with Nate's Towing. We'll get some questions in on him tonight too.
Probably.
Mindy is back there holding Milo. You can probably hear, but you cannot see. And Coven, Reagan, Elijah, Brittany. We've got everybody here tonight. We're just having a good time down here by the fire. And let's see what we got.
All right, first question is Tim Gwine? What was the strangest place that you had to get a car from?
The strangest place I had to get a car from. We went through this, didn't we, dear? What was... I had a different answer than you did.
I don't remember what your answer was, but I remember what mine was.
Go.
It was the girls that drove way out in the middle of the woods.
Yes. And I think I'm going to stick with that because mine wasn't as good as yours. I was going to say the one guy that called us and he was asleep and we were down way off the road, but yes, the girls that GPS said to go this way, they kept going. There's a video out there, guys, so go back and watch some of our older stuff. They drove and drove. It seemed like 10 miles back in, and then once we got back to it, we had to winch it and drop. So yeah, they were way out. So that was probably the craziest one for me.
And they ripped their entire exhaust system off from the converter and everything.
If you guys check, hey Butters is here for us too. But we, the entire exhaust system we had to put back in the back seat, and then we ended up getting it hooked to the truck. There was all kinds of stuff that they tore off of that. It was stuck on trees and roots and stumps, and there was no way that was a road at all. So that was kind of crazy.
I think for me, since I've been editing, it was the one that was down. They drove it like next to the creek. You had to push it while they drove instead of winching.
That was the one that, that was kind of crazy. Nobody knew where I went. I was gone for a very long time, and I didn't take my cell phone with me. Oh my gosh,
yeah, that was terrifying.
We were trying to help those guys out, and that was kind of scary.
That was sketchy, yeah. Yeah, it was sketchy.
Wrecker it up.
Trisha Mitchell says, just wondering, have you ever encountered a snake when stepping off into the woods or to hook to a tree? Also, you must not be allergic to poison ivy/oak.
So Trisha, no on the poison ivy, but the Virginia creeper is the local poison ivy for here, and that stuff annihilates me. It tears me to pieces. Kristen is into the poison ivy, and I'm into the Virginia creeper, so it's kind of back and forth. And if you guys see me out there, I wear these socks for a reason. I pull those bad boys up to about my kneecap, and that usually helps.
Four-wheel drive mode.
Four-wheel drive mode, yeah. Pull the tongue up and the socks up. The snakes, I don't know that I've ever seen a snake while we were hooking up cables and things like that.
We did one time, but it was trapped underneath the car, and it was just a little baby snake. But I'll take care of the snakes.
Yeah, the snakes. Yeah. I don't like snakes. Kristen loves snakes. She'll have them in the truck going home with us. I'll have them, I don't know, not in the truck.
Kevin Miller says, how often do you replace those winch cables and what do they cost?
Winch cables. So Nate just did 2 of his, so he can help me with the cost. I think they were
about 120 a piece.
About 120 bucks a piece for 100 foot.
100 foot.
And that's the ends. The new style clamps put onto them, and of course that's us doing all the labor.
Yeah.
But they're pretty easy to spool up. One bolt holds the back side and it gets it started, and then you just spool the whole thing up. And generally for me, now I'm breaking my rules this year, I usually replace both cables once a year, whether they need it or not. But I'm about a year and a half in, and they're still in good shape. I don't have really, I've got a few very slight burrs, so I think I might get 2 years out of this one, and we've had some pretty heavy use, which I shouldn't, but that's where I'm at with that.
T.A. Fisher 61 says, if you release a vehicle to a registered owner but his license is revoked due to DUI or for whatever reason, are you in any way liable?
I am solely there just to make sure the vehicle is back to whoever's name is on that registration. So if that vehicle belongs to you, all I'm doing is giving it back to you. It's completely up to you what you do with it, how you drive it. If you leave my yard in it and get pulled over, they're going to take you to jail, and you're going to get driving while suspended and a whole mess of those things. So I'm not the police department. I'm just there to give the rightful owner their vehicles back.
And I think we mentioned this the first time we did the Q&A, but the police know about every vehicle that you take, so they can always run the tags, registration, whatever else, because they know that it's in your custody. So.
Yeah, so when we take those vehicles, we call it in. We call in the plate and then vehicle, year, make, model, all that stuff. So they run it. They know who it belongs to. They know if it's stolen, and they know if the owner is revoked or not. So they do all of that before we ever take the vehicle. So we're just giving it back.
Samuel Wassey says, does pulling a vehicle by the rims sideways ruin the alignment?
You know, Samuel, I guess it could. It could if your tie rod end, I guess, is, you know, it could. But for the most part, that is the safest way to get it out for us. You know, it's in there. The damage is done. We're just trying to get it out with minimal damage. And I think I went over this today in one of our videos when we were coming home. We had some questions through an email or something like that came in. So guys, when I'm hooking these cars up and I'm pulling them out by the wheels, for me, it's just keeping cables away from things. If I hook underneath, and I have in some of our earlier videos, you can watch those. I've hooked floor pan frame rails and things like that. It just makes the chain get close to the bottom of ground effects, quarter panel, side skirts. It just gets things right there, and you're going to nick paint and things like that. So, and then a lot of times it's easier for me to get lift off the wheels. I can get lift, and cables are not close to anything. And we've got soft straps on wheels, and I've never, to this day, I've never had anybody call me back and say my car doesn't drive straight now. So I've winched out a lot of things. We've not had any complaints as far as things. And you could get crazy. Don't get me wrong. If a car is really stuck, say it's hung up on a stump, and you've got an inexperienced guy pulling on it, and he keeps pulling and pulling and pulling, that's where things go wrong. But for us, we get it up in the air, we get all the pressure off of it, so it's a very easy pull. At least we try to make it that way.
Mike Berger says, is Nate going to be the newest addition to your empire other than his own business / towing company? And if not, does he get anything from following behind you in his record?
So Nate, he's got his own business, Nate's Towing and Repair. They are right off the interstate, Straw Plains. He covers a lot of that stuff that we can't get to. We're pretty tied up, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. He helps us out tremendously on Dandridge, Kodak, Seymour, Knoxville runs. He is really taking up some of the slack there for us, and we're glad to have him here. He's getting going. Things are going good. If you guys need him, he will definitely be there for us. As far as follow, he has been in several of our videos. He'll be over at the garage. We'll be messing with maintenance on tow trucks, or he's just over, hanging out. And if we get a call and it's serious, it's always way better to have two. Two is way better than one. So
even if I'm there just to watch.
Yeah.
Just pull a cable if I have to or anything. So.
Pulling cables, pulling straps, just getting things done safely is always the thing. So we're glad to have Nate, and you're going to see a whole lot more of him.
Dependable Auto Truck says, have you ever considered rope for winching over a cable?
I do have rope. Our front cable on the winch is synthetic. I went with the 1/2 inch instead of the 3/8, kind of bumped it up a little bit, and I've used it for quite a while. I wouldn't. There's a company out there. He's got a YouTube channel. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's Hodges Wrecker. He has a Ford. I think it's red. Go to his channel, guys. I think he runs synthetic on the back. Both his winch cables are spooled in synthetic. He loves it, but he's in an area where he can do so. For us, there's a lot of things that are in the way. One thing that comes to mind is the winch out we just did for Gary's property.
Yes.
So that winch cable went all the way through. It was synthetic. I had a slight turn. There were some rocks coming out of the bank that got into the rocks, and it chews it. It was a one-time use only, and that gets very expensive. So cable is the safe bet for us. We use cable on the back. That's my go-to. For the front, I spool it in synthetic just for our easy jobs where I know it's not going to get into anything. But that's where we're at with that.
Kay Hilton says, suggestion, why don't the businesses put gates that have a card you can swipe to get into the lots for the employees? Wouldn't that solve the problem of people parking in their lots?
It would. These city back roads and streets are kind of complicated. There's a lot of alleyways that can't be obstructed, and it's a whole mess of complications. I don't know how else to put that. Kristen might have a better answer for that.
No, I think that's right. And you know, plus it's like, that's a lot to go through just to, whenever signs and markings should be enough. That's a lot for a business to have to go through.
Yeah,
It's expensive. Very expensive, yeah.
Kenneth 7260 says, so can you bring an out-of-town UTV and ride around?
Kenneth, if that UTV is plated and registered and has all of its checklist, I know they go through here. It's got to have mirrors, it's got to have a rear view, it's got to have turn signals, windshield, DOT tires. Now, of course, all of that stuff would be approved when you get it plated. They go through all that stuff before they give you a license plate. So as long as all of that stuff's in place, you can bring it here and you can ride it on. Kendra knows better.
The road has to be 40 miles an hour or under for you to legally ride a UTV that is street legal on the roads. They tend to kind of be more lenient because there's so many UTV rental companies here locally. So a lot of the times they won't really mess with you, but definitely don't take it on the interstate. And make sure you have a rear view mirror, side mirrors, turn signals, and street legal tires.
Seat belts.
And seat belts as well, and insurance, yes.
Don't off-road it.
And don't off-road
Don't
it.
off-road it.
I think I think it's a Class A tag or something like that we had to get to register ours. Class A. So here in the state of Tennessee, it has to be a Class A.
Yeah, Kendra and Elijah had a UTV business that they started, and it's very expensive, guys. The insurance and things to make that happen, but they went through all those hoops to getting that started. But yeah, short answer, yes, got to be registered.
I had somebody else, I don't know if I have a screenshot of it here in the Q&A, but I had somebody else ask if they were more lenient on scooters here in the county, like if they harassed you for riding scooters around.
You've got a story.
If you have 4 kids.
So yeah, more story time. So guys, when we first came, we're about 10 years ago, I guess. I love scooters. We had Yamaha Zumas, and we did the big bore kits on them. These things would run 60 mile an hour. They were the most fun thing in the world. But we got there, and then the laws kind of changed right around that time, about 8 to 10 years ago, where they were requiring license plates and things like registrations for scooters. So, yeah, scooters are fun. We don't see a lot of them here. It's very rare. I see more and more here the last few months. But yeah, those are the same as the UTVs, guys. Got to be plated. Got to have your endorsement and insurance. So my thinking on that was, if I got to jump through all those hoops for a scooter, I may as well get a motorcycle. So.
Same with the electric scooters too. Like they don't tend to harass you a lot if you're riding the electric ones.
Yeah, the electric ones seem to be pretty good. Man, those things are a blast.
Robert Fulton says, do you get very many angry people coming to get their vehicles and say, I'm taking it and I ain't paying?
We get that a lot. Generally, they're very mad on the phone and we get that situation, but when they show up at the lot, it's kind of a different story. I guess maybe they do some checking, calling around, making sure that, what they can and can't do. But, yeah, we've gotten that quite a few times. But at the end of the day, they all pay the tow bill and get their car back.
Traveling Adventure says, how do you deal with all of the YouTube drama and not let it bother you? They also asked, have you ever had to go help anyone out who's driving an electric car?
Electric cars, yes. The one that comes into mind is the Tesla in the park. Guy waited for 22 hours for AAA to get there, and this is all because Tesla uses your smartphone as a key, and he left the keys, the real keys, at home. Didn't think he would need it. He got into the national park, turned it off, doesn't have a signal for his phone. Tesla doesn't start. AAA left him hanging for quite a while, but we went into the national park, took to him, towed him to Signal Land, and he started it and was on his way. YouTube drama. There's no reason to get upset. There really isn't. The same things happen. The result is the same, whether you're screaming and yelling or try to calm. Calm is always better. Calm. I have gotten way farther in life being calm than I ever have being angry.
Mark Van Ram says, how long is the Greenway? Not sure I'd do it on a scooter, but definitely on my e-bike. Just pedaled from Pittsburgh to DC in 6 days.
Oh, wow.
What in the Pittsburgh to DC? I want to come do that. I'm not prepared for that. It's not me.
We're not in shape for
I
that.
am not, no. The Greenway, I want to say, there's different legs of the Greenway. Gatlinburg has little Greenway walks. Pigeon Forge has a river Greenway. Sevierville has another Greenway that comes down ballparks. So each one is a little different, but if I had to put a number on it, I think they're about 1.5 miles a piece, probably. Fire!
Fire.
I'm on fire, Ricky Bobby.
Invisible flames.
Let's let that die down a little bit.
Got the sweats over here.
Daniel Russell says, the one thing I noticed is you guys don't use high-vis gear. Is it not required for the state that you live in?
Requirements, I'm going to say it's always a good idea. Sometimes we're on private property and back roads where there's not a lot of traffic. Probably still not an excuse. We still should get our high-vis. Sometimes I'll jump out and I'll forget to grab a vest. Or the beauty of that is we're a team. Me and Kristen, she's looking, she's putting cones out. She's got my back, where some of the towing companies just run one driver. They're jumping out and nobody to help them. No coverage or anything like that. I know that's still not an excuse. We should still use more high-vis, but that's kind of where we're at with it.
Paula Wells says, what keeps an illegal park from jumping in their vehicle and leaving your yard? I think this was from before we moved to the new one.
Yeah, now we've got a gate up on the Pigeon Forge lot here, and we've got, really, it doesn't matter which lot. If someone wants their car, they're going to climb a fence. And I've seen videos and pictures of blowing through gates and ramming gates. Just know that you're always on camera, and we have surveillance cameras everywhere. And if that's something that you decide to do, then it's going to be just another bill. Another bill.
Kelly Gray says, what's the clamp on your rearview mirror for?
Clamp on the rear view is a GoPro. It's a GoPro mount. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like a giant clothesline. What am I thinking?
Clothespin?
Clothespin. Thank you. It's kind of like a giant clothespin. We can hook it to different places, and it's got a GoPro mount on it. It works great for my rear view or the boom or doors or tree branches or wherever.
Is there a follow-up to that one? Why do you have it on your rear view mirror? Does that block your vision?
So the vision on that one, no guys. I don't know why there's even a rear view mirror in my truck. The boom completely blocks everything, so it's just they put a mirror in the truck because that's the factory thing to do. And I use it as a GoPro mount hanger because I can't see anything out of the rear view because of the tow truck boom anyway.
The real Sunflower asks, do you ever want to laugh when people say, but they told me to park there?
I always want to laugh, and sometimes I do, and then sometimes it gets me in trouble. Who was the last guy?
The last guy in the comments talking about how they're going to be more angry with you because you were laughing.
Yeah,
because
because
you were taking it out.
Sometimes I got to laugh to keep from crying.
There's a video coming out.
Yes, there is. There is a video coming out, and I got yelled at for laughing. You were laughing at people. Man, it's sometimes I have to laugh.
Roger O'Kelly asks, what has been your most frightening moment while towing a vehicle?
We love you, Roger. Roger's been there, thick and thin, man.
Gosh, he's been there since the beginning, hasn't he?
So we appreciate you, Roger. I appreciate all the messages. He's always sending me messages and things like that, and we very much enjoy talking with Roger. So thank you, Roger. Scary moments, towing.
I think of all the times that people almost hit you while you're towing something.
I guess I could answer that one pretty quick. So this one just happened like 2 days ago. I had one on the back of the tow truck. So when I look in my rearview mirror, I'm looking at dollies. I can always see my dollies because they hang out the farthest, and I'm always trying to judge that between where I need to be in the lane or how far those are up against sidewalks and things like that. Well, I happened to look in the rear view the other day, and the dollies were completely gone. This car was so close to me, I couldn't see what I was towing or the dollies. And he was on his phone, and you probably couldn't have stuck a hair between the tow truck and this guy's car. I thought for sure he was taking out everything there. So that one was a pretty scary one the other day.
Mark Murphy says, I feel kind of guilty asking another question since you answered 4 of mine last time, but I can't help myself. Have you ever been called out to tow an illegally parked vehicle, and then when you got there, you recognized it belongs to a friend or a neighbor? If so, how did you handle it?
So no, I've other than, again, here's a recent one was a Jeep Invasion. They were here. The guy watches the channel, still parked at Five Guys.
Across from the parking garage.
Across from the parking garage. And we had him hooked up. I didn't find out till after everything was done and paid and set down that he was a subscriber, but yeah, that it happens. It happens.
A lot of people were saying that they need merch, like bumper stickers that say I'm a subscriber.
So that would be cool. Maybe we should get that in the old merch lineup. If you've purchased your bumper sticker,
It's free pass.
at least I'll know you're there to get pictures. And
Yeah. A lot of people too were asking if they parked in one of the numbered spots, would you be angry if you came there to tow them? And they were like, just want to meet you. But I think I commented on one of them, was like, I think it'd be easier just to come by the lot.
yeah,
Because lot security's going to be pretty angry.
yeah, lot security's not going to be happy. Which we get a lot of those, and I love them. I giggle.
So
You guys
funny.
stop in there for a quick picture, and then we've gotten a lot of emails and text messages of you in 26 or 30 or whatever spot. And I know it's really cool. You like to go over and see where all this is going down. And so, yeah, the private lot or the church or Five Guys or hotels. We've got countless people that call us, liquor store. So any of those lots are cool. But yeah, the easiest thing is just to swing by the lot, and I'll know you're there. We've got security cameras, so if you want to swing by, I'll at least know you're there and get some pictures.
So do a drive-by of the infamous parking lot.
Yeah.
But stop at the
Stop at the lot, but do a drive-by.
And there was a fella during the Jeep Invasion that came to the lot, and we were there, and I think
Yeah.
you caught him off guard. Didn't he send you a message?
He sent me a message, and again, guys, I'm horrible with names, and he'll know exactly
I
who
think
he
it was
is. and
Brian, right?
I have no
Brian?
idea.
I want to say Brian.
I want to say Brian, but I'm not sure for
I didn't
sure.
see the message. I'm sorry.
So Brian stopped by when the crazy video for
The one that came out on Tuesday, the Dodge
yes,
Ram.
the Dodge Ram. So she was about to come with the police, and we done had PD calling saying she was hysterical and coming. Well, if it is Brian, I believe it's Brian. But he came to get pictures of the gate and some stuff, and he didn't know we were there waiting on them to drop her off. So we kind of caught him off guard. We were in the truck after hours. I think it was 9 or 10 o'clock, and he pulled up, and I told him the situation that she was coming, and he didn't want to be a part of the crazy drama in the video. So he left immediately. Hopefully he got his picture. I've got him down here because he messaged me, and but if you're ever back in town, please swing by the lot.
Don't feel like you're doing anything wrong if you're outside the gate taking pictures.
Yeah.
Swing by. We love hearing from you. We love getting pictures. So that's awesome.
T. Thompson says, first question, your one dog is named Butters, is the other one Peanut? Second question, is your son involved in the towing company?
Coven does jump starts, lockouts, stuff for the service van, fuel deliveries, things like that. He helps us out when he's not doing his college classes. He is pursuing his other career. Just helps us out in that end of it. And Elijah needs to be in the other.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a job.
Elijah may be helping us out. But we've got that, and we've got Nate, and so we've got plenty of help there on that end of it. Oh, the dogs. Oh, my goodness. So no, Butters, if you don't follow the channel, Butters got her name because she ate a whole bunch of butter off of the table, and that just stuck. If you're going to eat butter, your name's Butters. But Addie, so we lost Addie, guys. I guess this is an update on that end of it. She passed away
About 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
about 2 weeks ago. So this,
September 1st.
September 1st, yeah. So yeah, about 2 weeks ago. And Addie was
She would be 14 November 16th. So she was almost 14.
almost 14. Addie was a good girl. We've had her everywhere. She went to vacation in Las Vegas, and we've had Addie for a very long time, and yeah. But we got those in. Bruno Bruno, and we've settled on Bobby, I think. Nate here says Bobby was the thing. So Bobby it is. He helped us get past that. It just fit.
Bob Barker.
Bob Barker. He barks all the time. So.
He does bark a lot.
But Addie came to see every single one of us too.
Yeah.
The day she passed.
The day she passed, yeah, she made her rounds. She come down here to Kendra's, and she visited Kendra and Elijah, and she came back up to the shop. Nate and Mindy were up there. I was up there in the garage. We even had some people working on some utility poles. She made her rounds and met everybody. So she kind of got her last call in there, and but yeah, we've got lots of puppies still.
Sin B says, has there ever been a tow or recovery you either couldn't do or refused to do just because it was too dangerous?
So this one was going to be a hard one for me up until yesterday.
You'll have to send her the pictures so she can put them here with this video.
Yeah.
I will send. Well, she's got the whole video. So guys, just stay tuned. And this question and answer will totally make sense when you see the video that's about to come up on this one. I usually don't, unless it's something stupid, crazy big coach bus or something like that. Well, we don't have the equipment for that, but we got a call in for a box truck. Got there, this thing was supposed to be just one wheel off, simple pull. We got there, it was like a total off-road experience to get back there to it. Once we got to it, it was all but about to fall off the mountain. Couldn't get in front of it, couldn't snatch block. If I picked up on it, it was going over. This one was way out of my comfort zone, so we left it. So stay tuned. Don't want to miss out on that video. Smash that like button, subscribe button, notifications. Not going to want to miss out on that one. It's coming soon, and you'll see exactly what I mean.
Nathan Upton says, do y'all ever work accidents, car crashes, etc., or is there some discretion that doesn't allow you to film those?
I usually don't film the heavier. We want to make sure that everybody's out. You know, if they're going to the hospital, they're gone. If you don't want to be invasive on that stuff, because it's totally traumatic, and they're not thinking about themselves or kids, and so it's easier for us to not film until after the fact. So now that we're on PD rotation, you'll get a lot more of the crash stuff, but we still pick and choose what we're going to film at what point. So you may get a video that's completely underway for us cleaning up a crash scene, and that'll only be because all of the victims are gone and out of the area.
Lori Wolf says, I love the cars that you are restoring. Have you ever thought about taking them to any car shows? I'm from Kentucky and used to live in Somerset, where they do Somerset Cruise. Have you ever thought of bringing about a car to any of those?
We would love to do that, and for us it's just time. It's hard for us to get away. We're working on them. Coven's super busy with helping us in school and things like that, and so we're trying to get in. We're coming up onto our slower season. January, first of the year, we get a little slower, so we have a little more time for our hobbies, and so stay tuned to the channel. We've got lots of cool builds. I know we still want to do the FRS stuff, and we still got the Skyline. I've gotten a lot of questions. How far is it along? We've still got to get paint, wing, what else, Coven? Lots of stuff there on that.
Interior.
Yeah. So we're trying with that. Coven got a wild idea that motorcycles would be a cool thing, and that sort of took over the rest of the summer. Not much of our car builds got done after he decided everybody should have motorcycles.
Jackson B says, are there any new plans for any new trucks or employees?
Yes. Kristen's going to get her own truck. So she's going to get her own rollback, and I'm going to make her get her own channel. No, we've talked seriously about another truck, and we've got the International. We'll probably jump into a smaller rollback just for situations like that, especially now that we've got the PD calls. It's always nice when they ask you to bring two trucks. You're ready. You're ready and capable of helping. So new trucks are coming. As far as that goes, we've got Elijah that needs to be in one. We've got Nate that's helping us. We've got Coven that will come unlock your doors.
Change your tire, maybe.
He's working on it.
Debbie Bertram says, have you ever done a pullout and then the people refused to pay? Then have you ever towed someone and they never came to pick up their car?
The no pickup thing, definitely. We get that a lot. So we end up filing the paperwork through the state, jumping through all of those hoops, and the state will send us a title after X amount of days and the proper paperwork. So we get a lot of people that, hey, I crashed it, I don't want to fix it, have no money to fix it, and they'll just leave it.
Or like the Mustang you vetoed that was parked there forever.
Yeah.
No back window, no tire.
Yeah, it's for whatever reason, that things happen, especially for our area. It's vacation town. Lots of folks move in and try to get a start at it, and then can't make it and just leave. And it happens.
Have you ever done a pullout and then the people refuse to pay?
I don't think so. Usually everybody is very gracious that you've pulled out their car, and they can 99% of the time they drive it home. So
Yeah.
Nate's on fire again, guys. Stand by.
For you.
I think with the chargebacks though, like if you do like a small job, like a jump start or a lockout or something, you got to be careful with the chargebacks.
Yeah, and that's the same reason. We always get all those questions about why we have cash only on our illegal parks. And again, guys, it's just because of the chargebacks. They're mad because it happened. They feel that it wasn't their fault. They're going to charge back. And we get the same thing on, I think Nate got one the other day. Nate went and did a jump start, and they got back to their hometown and said, I really don't want to pay for that, and dispute the charges. So it happens a lot in the credit card world. You just have to, for us, it's...
Okay, it's back on. You've got 33 minutes and 100% battery. Elijah, you're in the very corner of it. Now you're not in it, except for your elbow.
So Elijah's here. He's going to show everyone his newest tattoo.
Yeah.
So let's see it.
Shirt's off.
The burning question from now on will be, what is Elijah's tattoo?
You'll never know.
No one ever knows.
At 1 million subscribers.
At a million.
At a million.
At 1 million subscribers, we're going to show what tattoo Elijah has.
Whether he likes it or not.
Oh, whoever guesses what Elijah's tattoo is.
Oh, that could work.
Okay, someone can guess what Elijah's tattoo is. I'll send him a hat.
Okay, whoever can guess correctly what Elijah's tattoo is gets a hat. Comment down below.
He has 2 tattoos,
He
so
has
you
two
have
tattoos.
2 options.
You got two chances to guess.
Are you gonna give him a hint?
Nope.
No, not at
No,
all.
no
It's a
hint.
picture of me.
That's very vague.
See?
Okay, well,
It doesn't have to be the new one though. It could be either one.
Either one.
Either one.
Either one. I'll send him a hat.
okay.
We need to clarify that Elijah is Kendra's husband.
Yes. Elijah,
Probably to get through
Elijah, scoot over and say hi.
Hello.
I think most people who watch, everybody that's asking questions surely knows.
Surely knows, yeah. But just in
Maybe
case.
not. Maybe
I'm the
not.
guy who calls Jeff to change tires on Kendra's car.
Just in case. You never know. We're like,
I was in that video.
We love Elijah. We're happy to have him.
So before the camera died, we were talking about situations where the customer doesn't pay. So something that happens, I think, more times than you think is like you'll get there and they'll have already been gone. They got themselves out of the situation. They don't let you know.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing that a lot of people don't understand is a lot goes into the towing business on that end of it as well. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of lost revenue. I mean, we run around. It's expensive for fuel and maintenance and tires, and we do a lot. I mean, there is a big number of calls that we get dispatched to, and they are gone. Either somebody pulled over and had jumper cables and jump started them, or they found their keys, or somebody with a rope and a board pulled them out.
Yeah.
Or they called 3 tow trucks.
Or they called 3 tow trucks. That happens a lot too.
Yeah.
Don't do that, guys. Just don't do it.
It's kind of like when you call 2 pizza companies and have them race.
Yeah.
A tow truck.
Yeah.
Also will drive through.
Yeah.
And I think I've said that to a lady on the phone, and I was probably a little more on the upset side because she was like, well, just come. We'll see who gets here first. And I said, ma'am, if you've called somebody else, I'm not going to come. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm not going to come. So she kind of thought that I was being rude with her, but guys, I'm not going to do that.
No.
That's not fair. That's not fair to anybody.
And then on the pulling someone out and then they don't pay, Nate's had something happen, whereas you really haven't had much of that.
Yeah.
What happened?
Showed up, pull a guy out. He says, I don't have any money. I'll pay you tomorrow, but I have to go to work. It's like, well, okay. Here's my number. Call me. Of course, you never hear from him. But by chance meeting, running a Tractor Supply, there he is. So he's like, oh yeah, I was going to call you. I have $80 on me. Oh,
You're like,
okay.
give it to me.
Yeah, 80 is better than nothing because I'm
Yeah.
never seeing you again.
Yeah. I'll call you. I'll call you tomorrow, or I'll call you after a while. Okay. Yeah. I haven't heard from him yet, so I
You
guess
know-
it is what it is.
We did have that, Jeff. The lady in the locals, the lady in the Mustang, right before we went to Hawaii, remember?
That's a while ago.
And yeah, and she said, listen, here's my credit card number, run it at 7 o'clock Wednesday morning, and you'll have your money. And
Yeah, and we ran the card. Nothing. We called her. She said run it next week. We called her the next week. So we're 4 weeks in, and still. So yeah, it happens, guys, and they're not. You know, if you're gonna get the job performed, you're gonna get them out of the situation, or you're gonna get the tow done, and then most of the time they're gonna tell you, hey, I'm sorry, I don't have the money. And we run into that a lot. But for us, we try to, we understand, and those try to be our good deeds. Even though you should have been up front with us, I'd rather know. I'd rather know going into it, but it happens. I understand. We're happy that we're in the position that we can help most of the time. But yeah.
I feel like maybe that more often that happens with insurance companies.
Yeah.
Like some of the insurance companies that you just can't work with anymore because they won't pay you.
Yeah, they just won't. They just won't pay you, and it's they're the same. They're the same. They'll dispatch 5 or 6 different companies, and then whoever shows up, and then they're like, well, we're not paying. We're not paying some other company. Help us out, and by then we've driven X amount of miles and gotten up at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning to go do this stuff, and it's most of the time for nothing. So it's one of those jobs, guys, that we don't show this on the channel, but we do a tremendous amount of running around for zero return sometimes. So.
but aren't there situations too where other companies will, if you don't have the money to pay, we're just going to take it.
Yeah.
We're just going to take your car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so keep that in mind, guys. So there's a lot of companies out there that are very not forgiving, not so much forgiving.
Yeah.
If you do this to them, they perform the thing, and you say you don't have any money, they're going to take your car, and your car is going to go back to their lot. And then when you have the money to pay for the service, then you get your car back. So don't always think that the towing company is going to be very lenient with you just because the job's done.
In most cases, they're going to charge you a lot fee on top of
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Storage.
Storage fees and not a good idea. Just don't do it.
I got this question a couple times. Actually, there's 2 different subscribers asking the same question in this screenshot, but I think it's mostly for the newer subscribers. So they're asking, who is Nate? How is he related to you?
So Nate is my brother-in-law, Kristen's brother. He's in here, and he's going to help us out with the business. And he's got his home, like I said, Nate's Towing and Repair. If you're in town, you need him. We get a lot of calls to go to Dandridge and Knoxville, and the burning question
No pun intended.
is, Nate's the brother-in-law, and Nate's Towing and Repair.
John Gentry says, why don't your friends rebuild that large cabin with the pool? So this was a Mountain Air question.
Oh,
They had 4 cabins, honey.
4 or 5.
he had a bunch, yeah.
He had a bunch of cabins. The wildfires came through, burned down a whole bunch of stuff. By this time, he had been in business for several. I don't know that I could put a year count on it.
I think it was like 20 years or more.
And he'd been doing this for a long time, and he just decided that was the last straw for him. The fires came through, insurance paid for that stuff, and he kind of got out of the business and sold some things. And I think he went south to live out some of his dreams in the southern part of the world.
Maze 9185 says, would you spec a truck differently now, such as side pull, winch, and remote controls for your vehicles?
I definitely would, and I tried to do this. It's not because of the butterfly. I tried to do this the first time, but it was kind of crazy. COVID hit, and we had to take what we could get. But my truck, I don't know that I would change a whole lot about it. We got it equipped with the front winch. The only thing that I would change now would be stiff legs, and we still can add that on. Tobin's about to die over there. It's marshmallow roasting season, but I think he may have overdone his marshmallow.
It's like his third try.
But yeah, stiff legs is probably the only thing that I would change about my truck right now. It's always good to have more. So every truck has its thing. So the rollback is good for things. The wrecker is good for things. Nate's wrecker is totally different than mine, and it pulls totally different. Boom setup, a little heavier. So every truck is good, and I feel like we've got a good toolbox. If we need something, every situation, we've got the excavator, we've got Polaris, we've got everything that we could possibly think of to try and get some of these situations figured out. So we're doing so far so good.
Miss Kitty asks, do you ever get nervous when working on harder jobs, like RVs that get stuck in driveways, etc.? What job do you get nervous on the most?
So with weight, so if you see us working on something, the heavier, the bigger the vehicle, the more nervous that I get. It's I guess we get a lot of those calls for box trucks, U-Hauls, the cab over stuff, the transit. The transit vans. Don't get me started on transit. So
it's always a transit.
It's always a transit van. So these things are very popular. I've got one. Coben drives one for the service truck. They make
know their limit.
Yeah, they make some of these things that are huge. You can stand up in them. People rent them. They bring multiple families with them. They're great. Our area uses them for lots of cabin companies.
Yeah, I got
the
it.
cabin companies use them for their heating and air. They use them for cleaners. So we are always recovering transit vans. They're top heavy. They're scary. I'm always afraid one of them's going to flop over. And yeah, they're scary.
Samuel Parrott asks, have you ever had repeat customers on your illegal parks? It seems like most of them are tourists, but do you ever catch locals?
I don't know that we've ever had any repeat. We've got some local guys. Most of the local folks know us and when we're coming into Gatlinburg and what we're doing, and they're usually the people that really pay attention because they're the ones that are directly affected. When they come to work, they don't have a place to park. They can't come to work. They don't make any money. You don't get your service because the restaurant's short-staffed or store or whatever. So they really pay attention to where they park. So we don't get a lot of repeat. Repeat things are really no.
Rhonda Weed asks, did anything happen to the couple that picked up their vehicle and then shots fired as they were leaving?
Shots fired. Blue Dodge Charger. Have a blessed day and go to hell. Nothing happened. So
They leave comments all the time.
They leave. Yeah, you're out there. I know you're watching.
They watch every
Thanks
video.
for subscribing.
Number one viewer.
Number one viewer. Hey, whatever. I love you. But no, the sheriff came. They went and searched the bank. Couldn't find a shell casing, so it was either popped back into the car, no case, or it was a cylinder. Maybe it was a cylinder gun where there was no. They claimed it was firework. There was no firework trash. So if you let off a firecracker, bomb, smoke, it's gonna. You know what I mean.
Shrapnel.
You know what I mean. Everybody has 4th of July, so there was nothing like that. And without the casing, nothing happened. They got lucky.
Yeah. They also asked, do you ever worry about the not so nice people knowing where you live?
Like I said, guys, we've got security cameras. Everything's linked and wired in both places. Yeah, so it's, and we've talked about this. We've talked about this a lot.
We do.
So, guys, if there's a certain way to act, and there's a certain, just assume that you are on camera. If this day and age, everybody's got a camera. You're always being recorded. So just act like you're supposed to act, and it'll be good.
You won't be embarrassed when your video comes out.
Yeah. You'll be fine when your video airs.
Cammy Schaefer asks, which tows are the most challenging?
The most challenging tows are the flat tire ones for me, because you either bring the roll back and drag the bumper, or you're trying to put it on the auto loader, and the stinking thing is low to begin with and the tire's flat, so you're trying to get up underneath of it. And then once you get it hooked, flat tires and dollies are bad, not so much on the autoloader side because we have attachments that will clamp tighter. But just getting under some of these cars can be tough. Sometimes you'll see me deploy the old floor jack and jack it up before we back under it. So lowriders are tough.
Broken ball joints.
Yeah, ball joints.
Those are
man.
fun too. Yeah.
Or when there's no tire at all.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Floor jack is your best friend until you got to lift it off the.
They have to get off the truck.
I don't want to talk about it.
Rhonda A asks, if they made a movie about your life, who would you want to play you? I liked this when I saw it. It's
Arnold
different.
Schwarzenegger, of course. I think he won.
Arnold, yeah.
No, I think Jason Momoa. Yeah.
Nah. I don't know. Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Tom
Leo. Tom
Leonardo
Hanks.
DiCaprio with a
Tom
beard.
Hanks is yes.
I'll take anybody. I don't care who you are. If you watch our channel, any of those guys, if you decide that you want to do that, give me a call. I love it.
They gotta come do their research and watch.
Yeah. That could be fun.
Yeah.
This would be like an SNL. SNL skit.
J Kid asks, do you ever get illegal parks from the island? People were parking everywhere on the grass, on the curbs when we were there last year.
So stay tuned to the channel because we got some footage of the island for the Jeep invasion.
It's already posted.
So that already aired.
It already aired.
That
Oh
aired
yes,
this
it already
past
aired.
Sunday.
So if you're watching this, then you've seen that. We don't do the island. The island is city property for Pigeon Forge. We are not contracted with the city of Pigeon Forge, so they have their own people come in and they're contracted with them and tow those. But it happens, and people park like they shouldn't. We come across some people that were trying to leave. It was a very scorching hot day. Couldn't leave. There are people double, triple parked in front of them. You've seen the video. But yeah, no, it happens. They just don't call us because we're not contracted with the city.
Iris White asks, was Kristen your wingman from the beginning, or did she need a little encouragement?
From the beginning, we've always been a team. We've always worked very well together, and I couldn't do it without her.
Rob Urban asks, how many hours do you work?
Gosh, dang it, Rob.
$1 million.
A million. Yeah, when don't we work? It's from the time you open your eyeballs until now. We're recording. We're having a good time around the campfire, Rob, and we're not working right now.
It's probably still considered work.
Yeah.
If you're not towing or pulling one out, you're doing truck maintenance and trying to line stuff up, other stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Working the house or whatever.
It's funny though because you get mean comments too that are like, you claim to be 24/7, act like it with the pickups.
Oh, with the pickups. So come on, guys. I mean, yeah.
Sleep sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not going to go and do all of this stuff for pickups. Yeah, that's not what that's all about.
And I think you're very accommodating when it comes to that because we do go over there a lot at night and we're over there a lot
Man, yeah.
all hours.
Even with the pickup stuff that I don't have to, it needs to be 8 to 5. And I would say, gosh, maybe 1 or 2% actually that we make wait. Most of the time we're over there at the lot.
But I mean,
So-
I'm not going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning
Yeah.
and go to the lot so that somebody can pick up their car.
But we've been over there at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't feel like anybody else expects that out of any other company.
No,
Any other tow company just wouldn't answer the phone.
they just don't. Yeah.
Daniel Banks asks, who was your grandfather? I'm from Bedford, Indiana.
Daniel, my grandpa was Hobart Pemberton. Hobart Pemberton had Pemberton's Auto. We were out, used to be Rural Route 3 in Mitchell. Then it went to Motocross Road just because Davis had the motocross, and I used to go over there and flag as a kid at the motocross, and that was super cool. So if anybody is ever in and around the Mitchell area and you went to the motocross and had fun, I spent many nights over there camping out and flagging for the track events. That was a really cool place. But yeah, Hobart Pemberton, and my uncle's still out there. He's still out there on Motocross Road and still does repairs, and the junkyard's not there anymore. But yeah.
Marcus Anderson Sr. asked, always wondered what makes it a boot day versus a sneaker day.
If it's raining, it's a boot day. So any other day's a sneaker day. Until the fall. I like to wear boots when it's cold.
Somebody else was asking too, like, why don't you wear steel-toed boots? They're always like scared for your toes.
Yeah, you know, that's a good thing. You know, we should probably. I like Hey Dudes. I mean, Hey Dudes is a good
Hey
towing
Dudes.
boot. It's a good towing boot.
They also asked, how are the new radios working out?
The new radios are really cool. We've been through several different models, makes. We've had handheld. We've had stuff with speakers and mics, and the ones we've got now are pretty loud. Red-Vis made a pretty good, and we've got the same radio in the truck, and so far so good.
Michael Thomas asked, have you ever come across a vehicle where someone was still inside?
We came up on a legal park one time over there at the church, and you said, ma'am, you can't stay here. You have to move immediately.
That does happen with the legal parks.
That happens with the legal parks. People are just stopped there to do whatever, you know. As far as crashes, we've come upon some winch outs where people are sitting on the brake and they're afraid to let off the brake. And, you know, so that's happened a few times, but no injuries. We've not gotten injury calls, thankfully.
Been pretty lucky, but yeah, we've had both. I guess to answer that question, both cases have been had people in there where they're either on that side too much, they can't get out, trapped, can't get the door open, can't climb over. It happens. It happens a bunch. Our area, our roads are scary.
I think you already answered this under this person's comment, but I feel like this might be something that a lot of people ask all the time. But Pandora369 asked, will you share what your rough fuel cost is for an average month?
We'll just give them the year. I'm about $10,000 in fuel for the year.
Ooh,
That's a lot of fuel.
that's a lot of fuel.
So much diesel, man. So much diesel.
Plus with it increasing in cost and everything. I think what they were talking about was when people complain about the cost of like the legal parks and the drop fee, and you got to take into consideration how much the expenses are.
But I
For
think
Maybe
over the
last
summer
year.
it averaged about $2,000 to $2,500 a month.
2,000. Yeah, it
over
just
this
depends.
past summer, but
But it really does. I mean, some of those months might go down though. Like I said, we're not
super
heavy,
busy,
super
yeah.
heavy all of the time. But you know, our summer vacations, and then we move into the fall. So we'll have a few months where no, and some months that we are. But yeah, I guess if I had to put a number on it, it would be roughly 10,000.
Yeah, some days you fill up every day,
Yeah.
then you might wait every other day, or
Yeah, here lately it's
Couple
been
days.
every day. It's
Yeah.
crazy. So it is expensive, guys. It's super expensive, and we're just a small company. So can you imagine some of these people that have 8, 9, 10, 15 trucks? Whew, makes my belly hurt.
Armando Perez asks, if you do jobs like the box truck in the Boonies video, if you do jobs like that for a company truck, who pays, driver or company? Is it charged by card or cash?
It's card. Most of the time, the drivers will have a company credit card. If they don't, then we call in and they give us card over the phone.
Oh, I think we already answered this one. This one was about how the city reacts to electric scooters. They're thinking about bringing theirs for a future trip, but wasn't sure if they would be harassed by local PD.
No, yeah, the electric scooters are a blast. Bring them into town. We'd love to ride with you. So when you get in, let us know. We'll meet you and
Show you the Greenway.
We'll show you the Greenway.
Johnny Brady asks, how many tows on an average day?
It's not crazy like most people would think. I would guess an average day would be about 4 or 5. Yeah, it's not a huge thing. Most people think that it's really crazy, but
There's been days we've ran from 8 a.m. to midnight, you know, and just nonstop back to back all day. But then there's days like today where we had like 2.
yeah,
So,
you cherish the slow days and try to get lots of stuff done. Because yeah, there's days that you'll go, whew, won't we, bud?
I think that's it. What it do, baby?
What it do, baby? What it do?
Adam Hughes, what it do, baby?
Adam Hughes, that one's for you. What it do, baby? So I need to start using that from now on. Adam, that's a really good quote.
What it do, baby?
when you get there and somebody's like hanging off the side, you walk up and you say, "What it do, baby?"
I don't care what it is. Flat tire. What it do, baby?
You should try to trademark it.
Yeah. What it do, baby?
Jump start, what it do, baby? Keys locked in the car, what it do, baby?
What's the story of this? What?
He wanted a shout out. He said, Adam Hughes. Jeff, what it do, baby? Give me a shout out.
Shout out to Adam.
Shout out to Adam Hughes.
Anyway, guys, I guess that's kind of a wrap on Campfire Q&A. Mila's ready to go to bed. And Butters is looking a little droopy-eyed over here, too. He's ready to load up. So we appreciate you guys watching. As always, like I said, smash that subscribe button, like button, notifications. Don't want to miss out on anything coming soon. We've got lots of good videos. We've tried to get caught up. We've done a lot of weeks that have been 7 days worth of video. We're trying to get some of that stuff. So you guys have been amazing on wanting those videos, and we're so happy. I mean, we're approaching 40,000 subscribers.
That's amazing.
That's crazy. And like I always say, 40,000 new friends. We really enjoy the comments. We love reading all of those. I love all of the emails and private messages and text messages. That's just super cool. Love hearing from everybody. If you keep it up, we'll keep it up. You keep watching, we'll keep recording. Stick around, we got more to come. Is that background music for me?
Is background music?
Yeah.
Gonna get the fire!
Why are we on fire? Why can't you
We need some fire.
that very well? This is why
I thought she was going to go to Elijah and just get going.
It's like burning the weed.
Oh, Lordy.
Okay, now that we're through that.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody stick on
No.
all the men's shirts. Cut that out of the video.
That's gonna be a blooper at the end.
No, that's
That's gonna be a blooper at the end.
No.